Welcome to today's academic debate. Our topic is the system of value, SOV, a proposed new monetary system with a universal currency tied to real production. To my left is Professor V representing the SOV, and to my right is Dr. Jackson representing behavioral economics. Dr. Jackson, please start us off.
Professor V, behavioral economics begins with a simple truth. Humans are not rational optimizers. They're biased, emotional, short-sighted, and inconsistent. Your SOV system assumes that people will respond predictably to real value signals. But real people don't behave like that. How can SOV function in a world where human behavior is fundamentally irrational?
SOV doesn't require perfect rationality. It removes the distortions that amplify irrational behavior. When money is created through debt and speculation, cognitive biases become catastrophic, bubbles, panics, herd behavior. When money is tied to real production, irrational behavior has far less room to destabilize the system. SOV doesn't fix human psychology. It prevents the monetary system from magnifying its flaws.
Humans have present bias. They overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future costs. That's why they overspend, undersave, and vote for short-term policies. Your system relies on sustainable production and long-term planning. How do you expect people to behave sustainably when psychology pushes them toward short-termism?
SOV aligns short-term incentives with long-term sustainability. Because money is destroyed when goods are consumed, excessive consumption reduces liquidity. People feel the consequences immediately. And because the reservoir provides multi-year stability, long-term planning becomes easier and more intuitive. SOV doesn't fight present bias. It channels
Loss
it.
aversion makes people panic when they perceive threats. Markets crash because people overreact to losses. Under SOV, if production drops, the money supply drops. Won't that trigger even more panic?
No, because the reservoir absorbs short-term fluctuations. If production drops, the system draws from stored value. Liquidity remains stable. There is no sudden contraction to trigger panic. Loss aversion becomes less dangerous when the system itself is buffered against shocks.
Herd behavior is powerful. People imitate others even when it's irrational. That's why speculative bubbles form. SOV claims to eliminate bubbles by tying money to real production. But herd behavior can still drive irrational investment. How does SOV prevent collective madness?
By removing the fuel that feeds bubbles, debt-based money creation. Under SOV, you cannot borrow money into existence. You cannot inflate asset prices through leverage. Herd behavior may still exist, but it cannot inflate a bubble without credit expansion. SOV doesn't eliminate herd psychology. It eliminates its systemic consequences.
Behavioral economists emphasize trust. People distrust institutions, especially global ones. Your system relies on a global institution to manage the reservoir and issue currency. How do you overcome distrust, suspicion, and conspiracy thinking?
By removing discretion, the institution cannot print money. It cannot set interest rates. It cannot manipulate policy. It simply enforces a transparent rule tied to physical production. Trust is replaced by verification. People don't need to trust the institution. They only need to trust the data.
Humans struggle with complexity. They use heuristics. They misunderstand probabilities. They misinterpret feedback loops. SOV is a complex global system. How do you expect ordinary people to understand or support it?
SOV is not complex. It is much easier to understand than existing systems, even if a few people could not understand it. All they need is to experience its stability. Most people don't understand central banking, bond markets, or quantitative easing, yet they live with the consequences. SOV is simpler. Money in equals value in, money out equals value out. The complexity is in the measurement, not in the rules. People experience the benefits without needing to grasp the mechanics.
You're arguing that SOV doesn't require perfect rationality. It simply removes the monetary distortions that make cognitive biases dangerous. Present bias, herd behavior, loss aversion. These become manageable when the currency reflects real production.
Exactly. Behavioral economics shows that humans are flawed. SOV designs a system where those flaws don't lead to collapse.
I approached this debate assuming SOV was too idealistic, a system that required rational behavior. But I see now that it's the opposite. It's a system designed for real humans, with real biases, real emotions, and real limitations. It reduces the impact of cognitive errors. It prevents bubbles and panics. It aligns incentives with sustainability. And it stabilizes the economy without relying on perfect behavior.
That's the goal, not to change human nature, but to build a system that works with it.
Then I'm convinced. SOV isn't just compatible with behavioral economics. It's the monetary system behavioral economics has been pointing toward all along. I'm switching sides.
Well, that's a remarkable conclusion. A behavioral economist genuinely persuaded by the logic of SOV. Thank you both for an extraordinary debate. And big thanks to our audience. I strongly recommend that you watch Part 1 and especially Part 2 of the Universal Currency videos to learn more about the SOV. See you in the next debate.